Welcome back to Luminous Star Fables. Today I'm going to talk to you about money trauma and how it is usually an aftermath of narcissistic abuse. Money trauma refers to the emotional, psychological, and physiological impact that forms when money becomes associated with fear, instability, or control. For many survivors of narcissistic or emotionally abusive relationships, money trauma develops gradually. It often begins with subtle financial criticism, comments about spending, questioning basic purchases, or implying the survivor is bad with money. Over time, this can escalate into restricted access to accounts, coerced debt, or financial monitoring. These experiences condition the survivor's nervous system to associate money with conflict or danger, making financial decisions feel overwhelming even long after the relationship ends. The long-term effects of narcissistic abuse, reflected in my video entitled Long-Term Effects of Narcissistic Abuse: The Shocking Hidden Impact Explained, show how abusers use a predictable sequence of psychological tactics. Early on, survivors may experience gaslighting, triangulation, or subtle character attacks that erode their confidence. As the relationship progresses, these tactics create an architecture of control where finances become another tool for dominance. In family systems, this may appear through rigid roles such as the scapegoat who is blamed for financial issues or denied resources. In romantic partnerships, survivors often describe an emotional drain that leaves them depleted, emotionally, mentally, and financially. As this pattern continues, survivors frequently develop cognitive dissonance, the internal conflict between sensing something is wrong and wanting to believe the abuser's version of reality. This can lead to internalized unworthiness, where survivors begin to doubt their financial abilities or feel undeserving of stability. Some even adopt the abuser's behaviors as a subconscious survival strategy, mirroring their emotional responses or financial habits to avoid conflict. This is where money trauma becomes deeply rooted. The survivor's financial identity becomes entangled with fear, shame, and the abuser's voice. A brief microcase study illustrates this progression. Maria, a survivor of a long-term relationship with a covertly controlling partner, began her relationship feeling financially confident. Over time, her partner criticized her spending, insisted on access to her accounts, and repeatedly told her she was irresponsible with money. When Maria earned a promotion, he created emotional crises that caused her to miss work. Years later, even after leaving, Maria felt anxious checking her bank balance, not because she lacked financial skill, but because her nervous system had learned to associate money with stress and conflict. This is why nervous system regulation is essential in financial recovery. Survivors must first restore a sense of internal safety before they can rebuild external financial structures. Healing often begins with radical boundaries, including the widely recommended no-contact rule, which interrupts the cycle of manipulation and allows the survivor's mind and body to stabilize. From there, practices such as mindfulness, journaling, and reprogramming subconscious beliefs help dismantle the harmful narratives implanted by the abuser. As survivors reconnect with their inner authority, they gradually shift from survival mode into a state of grounded clarity. I'm certain that some of you, just like myself, can relate it to some of this. I recall a few times that I misused and mismanaged money as an escape, or sometimes thinking that money was the answer to some personal challenges. I later learned that mismanaged money could cause more issues to occur. After choosing to become more financially literate, I saw improvements not only personally, but I also noticed them financially. This doesn't mean that you're bad. I've observed in my case that it often means that there's more to learn about how to properly manage finances. I came across this recent viral story that has brought renewed attention to the financial impact of abuse. A TikTok video by survivor Abigail Winters, in which she shares her journey of rebuilding her life after years of emotional and financial control, has resonated deeply across social media. Her message about feeling trapped financially and emotionally has sparked widespread conversations about the hidden economic dimensions of abuse. Similarly, a widely shared WBUR feature titled "He Wanted to Destroy Me Financially" has highlighted how common financial sabotage is among survivors. These stories underscore a critical truth. Money trauma is not an isolated experience, but a systemic pattern within abusive dynamics. One of the things that I've learned is that it seems that survivors need both emotional and financial tools to rebuild their lives with safety and dignity. If some survivors had those tools in the beginning, they would either not have been facing the financial or emotional challenges that they were facing, or they would have possibly resolved the issues sooner before damage was done. Rebuilding finances after narcissistic abuse is not just a practical process, it is a reclamation of identity. Trauma-informed tools such as safety-first budgeting, financial trauma mapping, boundary-based banking, micro-win saving strategies, and nervous system-aligned decision-making help survivors separate their authentic financial voice from the internalized voice of the abuser. These practices support survivors in rebuilding not only their bank accounts, but also their sense of self-trust and empowerment. Okay, now I want to invite you guys, if you feel comfortable, to consider sharing your reflections or experiences in the comments. When you share your story, you just never know who you might encourage to do the same. Your voice may help another survivor feel seen, supported, and less alone on their healing journey. Select the next video for extensive information, resources, and tools on this topic.
If you're trying to find your footing and rebuild your financial independence after a really tough experience, you are absolutely in the right place. Today, we're going to walk through a compassionate step-by-step guide to help you reclaim your power one secure action at a time. So, here's the roadmap for our journey. First, we have to start by understanding how trauma actually reshapes our relationship with money. Then, we're going to move into 3 really powerful, actionable stages. First, securing your identity, then rebuilding credit safely, and finally, building the future you truly deserve. Okay, let's dive into our first section. Look, before we take any action, it's so important to understand how financial trauma affects our decision-making. This isn't about blame, not at all. It's about approaching this entire journey with some real self-compassion. So what even is financial trauma? Well, it's way more than just a bad feeling. It's a recognized physiological response. When you go through prolonged financial stress or control, it can literally rewire your brain to prioritize short-term survival. I want to be really clear. This is not a personal failing. It's your brain's powerful survival instinct just doing its job. In this slide, this really gets to the heart of it. Your survival brain is laser-focused on immediate safety, right? That's what leads to things like avoiding bills or just feeling completely overwhelmed. It's trying to protect you in the short term. But while it's doing that, your strategic brain, the part that's responsible for long-term planning, kind of gets pushed to the side. The first step really is just recognizing that this shift is happening, because once you see it, you can start consciously bringing that strategic brain back into the conversation. All right, so with that understanding in our back pocket, let's move into the very first practical step, creating a secure financial foundation for yourself, one that's completely free from any outside influence. This financial safety audit is your starting line, but please don't feel like you have to tackle this all at once. Just take it one item at a time. This is all about methodically closing old doors and just confirming that you and only you are in control of your financial life. Okay, after you've done that audit, it's time to build up your defenses. And this slide shows 3 incredibly powerful actions you can take right now. Freeze your credit, secure all your passwords, and open a brand new independent account. You can think of these as the 3 pillars of your new financial fortress. So, here's the crucial part. A credit freeze is basically like a deadbolt on your financial identity. It puts a complete and total stop to any new fraudulent accounts being opened in your name. That right there can give you some immediate breathing room and real peace of mind. And this just illustrates the power of a clean slate so well. Opening an account at a brand new bank, somewhere with no shared history, is both a practical must-do and a really powerful symbolic act. It creates a safe container, one that is 100% yours. With your identity now secure, we can shift our focus to the careful process of rebuilding your credit. And you gotta remember, this is a gradual climb, not a race. This is without a doubt the most overwhelming question for so many people, especially if you've dealt with financial sabotage. But here's the great news. Right now, there are safer, more effective tools than ever before, tools that are specifically designed to help you rebuild. You absolutely have options. This table here breaks down 2 of the safest paths you can take. First, you have a secured card. With this, you're essentially just borrowing from yourself. You put down a small deposit, maybe $200, and that becomes your credit limit. It's a fantastic way to build a positive payment history. Then there's the credit builder account, which is also great because it's kind of like a loan in reverse. Your payments go into a locked savings account, and you get the money at the end. So you're building both credit and savings. Both of these are powerful tools for proving you're reliable without having to take on risky debt. And now we've arrived at the final and, honestly, the most empowering stage of this whole process, building a stable and secure future that you get to design and control. Okay, this is a massive game changer. Seriously, because of new financial technology, many lenders now get that a credit score doesn't tell the whole story. Your actual day-to-day financial habits, things like consistent income and responsible spending, are becoming just as important. And this can work hugely in your favor, even if your credit history is, well, complicated. This simple chart right here shows something incredibly powerful. See that small gap between income and expenses? That little bit of surplus every month? That is a key signal of financial stability to lenders. It proves you can manage your money effectively month after month. Building long-term security does not require huge sums of money. It starts right here, with even just a few dollars. The key isn't the amount you're saving, it's the consistency of the habit. Every single small, automatic transfer builds a powerful safety net and reinforces your ability to plan for the future. So let's quickly recap the roadmap we've walked through. It all starts with the compassion of understanding how your brain has responded to trauma. From there, you move to decisive action. You secure your identity to create a safe foundation. You patiently rebuild your credit with smart, safe tools. And finally, you begin to grow your future through consistent, positive habits. This is your path from survival right back to security. As we wrap up, just remember, this journey isn't about giant leaps. It's about small, consistent actions. It's not about being perfect, it's about making progress. So looking at everything we've covered, what is that one small step you can take today? Because that one, that's always the most important one.